Jalen Brunson turning himself into a superstar? Jalen Brunson is having an amazing year in terms of basketball-wise because he should have been an all-star in my opinion, but he had a great year. He was the leader for the Knicks. He was awesome in the playoffs, and now in Team USA, he has also been super awesome. Jalen Brunson had 22 points the other night, 9 of 9 from the field. I think he had 8 or 9 assists. The other game, he had a double-double. So Jalen Brunson is just doing everything right. Jalen Brunson is also one of the most likable players, in my opinion. Just like, it's hard not to like Jalen Brunson because all he does is work hard, play hard, do good things. He's clutch, and he just seems like a good teammate to be with. Clearly, his teammates like him because they say good things about him, and as you can see, the whole Villanova squad wanted to play with him. Obviously, they want to play with each other. You know, Brunson wants to play with Josh Hart and DiVincenzo, but I'm just saying, like, the fact that they have such a good relationship shows that he is a good teammate. Jalen Brunson is one of the best things that could have happened to the New York Knicks. I know, I still remember. Everyone thought they were crazy for signing him to that contract. Overpaid, like too much money, all that stuff that people were saying went away very quickly because he soon showed that he could lead a team and he is an all-star caliber player. What was once looked at as a potential bad deal changed in a matter of overnight, basically. He showed the world why he deserved that contract. And if Jalen Brunson doesn't miss Josh Hart wide open for a three, which we don't blame him for because he was doing everything. He played all 48 minutes and he was kind of trapped. But at the same time, he did miss Josh Hart for that three. But if Josh Hart hits that three and it goes in, we may be looking at the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals and potentially the NBA Finals this year. Obviously, that's a lot of what ifs. I'm not saying the Knicks should have been in the NBA Finals because Miami earned that. They worked hard. Jimmy was awesome. Caleb Martin, Bam, Gabe Vincent, like they all put in the work to get to the NBA Finals. So I'm not taking anything away from Miami. They obviously deserved it. I'm just saying they had a chance. Like, they had a chance when nobody thought they did. With all that being said, is Jalen Brunson turning himself into a superstar? Well, for me, I classify a superstar as a very, very small category. Some people have superstars as being like a wider category. Like for other people, the top maybe 15 players in the league are superstars. Like everybody's opinion on what a superstar is different. For me personally, a superstar is a top 5 player. And people shouldn't get too hung up on the word superstar because if someone is like the 6th or 7th best player, that doesn't mean they're not superstar quality players or they don't add to their team, the same amount. And to be honest, the 6th or 7th best player, maybe they make the NBA Finals before someone who's the number 3 player. Usually the top 5 players are the ones who are making the NBA Finals or at least like getting close to it. Like that's kind of what also, goes into being a superstar is like leading your team. But anyway, that's not really the point. I'm not here to discuss my definition of a superstar. I'm just saying for me, a superstar is a top 5 player. That's how I usually look at it. There are exceptions, but like Steph Curry, obviously, well, LeBron at this point in his career, obviously he's not, I guess people would still say he's a superstar, but he's not like the best player in the world at this point. But still, like LeBron, obviously in his prime, Giannis, Kevin Durant in his prime. Kevin Durant is still a superstar, but you know what I mean? Like players like that are superstars. But anyway, the point is, I'm not here to debate what the definition of a superstar is to you and to me. Like maybe in the future I'll make an in-depth video, but for now, no. But for me, Jalen Brunson has elevated his game to be in the conversation with the people who are not the top 5 players, but the players who are right below superstar level for me. Again, don't get too hung up on the word superstar because it gets thrown around a lot and like I'm not trying to use it or misuse it in a way that's insulting or like I'm just not trying to misuse the word. What I'm saying is for me though, Jalen Brunson has elevated his game to be classified as someone that you want on your team, who's going to lead your team, who is an all-star on any given night in any given season at this point. We have to see what it's like going forward. But this year he proved he could be an all-star. And he's still in his prime, so he's only going to get better, in my opinion. I think he's just going to keep developing his game. And he's going to showcase more of his talent because, again, remember, he was playing behind Luka. Like, Luka was their number 1 option. There are some players who are, I guess, top 15 in the league. I guess, I don't have a list off the top of my head of who I think is top 15 or whatever. But I bet you, and I'm not going to name any names because I'm not trying to start any controversy, but there are some players who people would classify as top 15 or maybe better than Jalen Brunson or whatever. And I would take Jalen Brunson over a bunch of them probably, because to me, something I look at that I actually weigh, I wouldn't say kind of heavily, but something that I weigh into my factoring of like where I consider them in terms of rankings, I guess, is their ability to lead and win and be clutch and just like do things. Like there's a difference between like super skilled and being able to use that skill to elevate your team. Is Jalen Brunson the most skilled NBA player in the league? I don't know. Like, he's super skilled. He is. Is he the most skilled in the entire league? I don't know. But just because he's not doesn't mean anything to me, because he uses all his skills to his advantage and helps elevate the team, which is why the Knicks made the playoffs and the Knicks were in the second round for the first time in so long. What's more important to me as like a viewer, if like you're a fan or if you're trying to, see someone succeed, is that are they able to take whatever skills they have and translate them to wins, winning plays, winning basketball. Like sometimes obviously you can't win because maybe, the team around you doesn't fit or there are injuries. Like besides that, I'm just saying like Jalen Brunson elevates himself, he elevates the team, and we saw it happen this year. Jalen Brunson is awesome. He's clutch. I can't wait to see what he does next season. I hope he becomes an all-star. I hope he is selected, because again, I think he should have been an all-star this year, but I hope he is selected next year so we can see Jalen Brunson as an all-star. Shout out to Jalen Brunson for believing in himself and putting in the work, and it shows. So shout out to him.